My name is Gabriella, and I grew up in a quiet lakeside town in Minnesota where winters seemed endless and everyone knew your name. For a while, I believed I had a normal family. Dad was a physics teacher, Mom worked night shifts as a nurse, and I was their only child. Back then, my mom used to braid my hair before work, and Dad would take me fishing on Saturdays. We'd sit on the porch with melting ice cream and laugh at the cicadas buzzing through the dusk. I thought that was love, the kind that didn't need words. But everything changed the winter I turned 8. It was the night Lily was born, 2 months early and barely clinging to life. I remember the lights flashing outside, Aunt Evelyn's pale face, and how she quietly ushered me out with a coat in hand. After that night, my world slowly disappeared. Lily became the sun around which everything orbited. I was just another object, in the shadow. Our house became sterile, filled with sanitizer, bleach, and air purifiers. Anytime I so much as sniffled, I was sent to Grandma's, quarantined like a threat. At first, I thought they were protecting Lily. Then I realized they were abandoning me. All my small victories, math tests, drawings, science fair wins, were met with distracted nods or ignored entirely. Lily has a mild fever, they'd say, or, Gabriella, be quiet. Lily needs to rest. By the time I was in 8th grade, I had a part-time job at a bakery called Sugar Pines. Mrs. Lorraine, the owner, was the first person who looked me in the eye and saw potential. Work hard, she told me, and you'll find your place. So I worked hard. I learned how to mop floors, bag pastries, smile at customers even when I was tired. I studied in the corner of my peppermint-scented bedroom, learned to apply for scholarships, and write essays on my lunch break. No one noticed. No one asked. When I was accepted to Northwestern with a full ride, I showed the letter to my mom. She said, "Congrats, but don't tell Lily, she's been stressed." So I didn't. I folded the letter and kept it to myself. They threw a party when Lily got 2nd place in an art contest. Dad even made a plaque for her rainbow cat drawing. No one noticed the essay I wrote that earned national recognition. But I didn't need their praise. I had something better. The key to leave. At Northwestern, I majored in art history. I spent my time poring over ancient jewelry designs and European dynasties, each lecture a tribute to the memory of sitting with Grandma, sifting through her jewelry box, imagining stories for every brooch. After graduating with honors, I landed an internship at a small jewelry appraisal firm. It was unpaid, but I didn't care. I worked with auction houses, inspected heirlooms, and slowly built a reputation for spotting the extraordinary in what others called junk. The first real breakthrough came when I reappraised a brooch marked as costume jewelry. Something about it caught my eye. The detailing, the almost invisible maker's mark, I knew it was something more. Hours of research proved it was a rare pre-war piece by a forgotten French artisan. It sold for over $40,000. More pieces landed on my desk. I caught errors in high-value appraisals, uncovered rare gems disguised as replicas, and handled multi-piece estates that older appraisers refused to touch. Eventually, my supervisor asked, "Have you thought about going solo?" I laughed. "I can't afford it. I survive on ramen." "Exactly," she said. "The hungriest people find the rarest meals." I launched my own business, Aum and Iris, at 27. It started in a 300-square-foot office above an Italian cafe in Milwaukee. A wobbly desk, a salvaged chair, and a dream no one knew about. I served pawn shops, small antique stores, and private collectors who couldn't afford big-name firms. I charged less, but delivered more. Accuracy, integrity, obsession with detail. Word spread. One referral became 2, then 10. Estate lawyers, museum curators, high-profile collectors. Within 5 years, I had 3 offices, a small team, and a reputation across the Midwest. My net worth passed $12 million, but I still wore old sweaters, drove a second-hand SUV, and lived in a modest home. To my family, I was still Gabriella, the quiet one with the dusty antique hobby. They never asked about my work. They assumed I was still scraping by, living off canned soup. They believed Lily's Instagram captions about supporting her struggling sister. They were wrong. Eventually, Mom called. Lily's tuition is getting hard to manage. Can you help a little? I asked. How much do you need each month? $7,000, just until she finishes. I didn't say a word. I set up the automatic transfers from my business account, not because they deserved it, because I could. They never thanked me. They still spoke of Lily's potential like it was the center of the universe. I kept sending money. I kept showing up at Sunday dinners. I let them believe whatever helped them sleep at night. One night, Lily joked about me getting an MBA to help with my little shop. Mom nodded like it was the smartest idea she'd ever heard. I smiled, thinking about the $5 million gallery project I had just signed in New York. I could have told them everything. About the awards, the contracts, the invitations from museums and journals. About the luxury collectors who trusted only me. But I didn't, because silence had become my power. I wore vintage jewelry to dinner, pearls from the Edwardian era, a ruby pin from 1905, and let them think I bought it all at flea markets. When Lily said, "Gab probably has enough necklaces to open a store," I just smiled and sipped orange juice. They never asked why my name showed up on major auction house guest lists, why my work was cited in international gemology journals, why I always paid the bill. They didn't want to know. And that was fine, because sometimes the greatest revenge isn't proving them wrong. It's building a life so remarkable they couldn't recognize it even if they tried. And that's exactly what I did. The shift came when Lily posted a picture of her new limited edition BMW sports car with the caption, "Rewarding myself after a tough semester. Hard work always pays off." I knew that car cost over $90,000, and I also knew no student at Parsons could afford that without some quiet funding. That same day, Mom called me. Her voice, brimming with pride, said, "Did you see, honey? Lily's doing so well. She's handling everything on her own. She's really got the potential to be successful." I stayed quiet, but this time I felt no patience, only one question echoing inside me. When will they see me? Not as a utility, not as a shadow, but as myself. I hadn't planned to host Thanksgiving that year. I was actually planning to spend it alone, somewhere far away. But then Mom called, her voice sounding tired and frail. "I haven't been feeling well, Gabriella. No one's really up to cooking. Everyone's looking forward to the holiday. You know how it is." I knew exactly how it was. If I didn't step up, they'd remember. If I did, no one would. "I'll take care of it," I replied. "You get some rest." I contacted a high-end catering service from Chicago, the same one I used for my company's auction events. Custom menus, private chefs, the kind of dining no one in my family had ever seen. On Thanksgiving morning, I arrived early. The catering team followed soon after, complete with portable ovens, silver trays, and a professional tablescape designer. Lily peeked from the kitchen and whispered to Mom, "Isn't she going a bit overboard? Looks like she's trying to impress someone." She didn't get it. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I just wanted one real meal, no dry turkey, no salty gravy, just one moment of elegance for myself. Dinner began, and nearly 20 people filled the house. Family, distant relatives, Lily and her boyfriend, everyone gasping over the food. Halfway through, I slipped upstairs to my old room to monitor a live auction in Tokyo. One of my longtime clients was bidding on a rare Meiji-era gemstone set. I had to stay connected. As I quietly reviewed the auction feed, Lily barged in without knocking. "Do you have a charger? My phone's dying." She stopped when she saw my laptop screen lit up with graphs and financials. "Mind if I borrow this?" she said, already walking away with the laptop. "Guys, look what Gabriella's doing during Thanksgiving," she called out, spinning the screen around. Silence. On the screen was my business dashboard, a bank account balance reading. 12 to $6 million, a pending $400,000 contract. Company quarterly earnings over $4 million. No one spoke. Aunt Evelyn gasped. Dad leaned back in his chair. Mom's fork paused midair. "Come on," Mom finally said with a tight laugh. "Gabriella's probably just helping someone with numbers. Right, sweetheart?" I stood, smoothed my blouse, and spoke calmly. "No, Mom. I'm the one signing those contracts. I'm the CEO of Alm and Iris. We operate across 3 states. Everything you're seeing, is mine." A spoon clinked onto a plate. Lily's voice cracked. "You have that kind of money? And didn't say anything? Mom and Dad are in debt for me!" I turned to my mother. "I've been transferring $7,000 a month to you for 2 years. You never asked where it came from." Her face drained of color. Dad looked like he might explode. Lily's eyes welled. "I deserve to know," she cried. "I'm your sister. Family is supposed to share." I looked around the room at the people who once ignored me, dismissed me, mocked me. I spoke softly. "Family doesn't mean carrying the people who always look down on you." I closed my laptop and walked to the door. Behind me, someone shouted something about obligations, but I didn't turn back. No one said, "We're proud of you." No one clapped. Just silence. Mom finally spoke, voice sharp and cold. "You've got millions and still let us struggle? Did you even think about your sister?" Before I